Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the They Lima Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reisch. Reisch is spelled R-E-I-S-C-H. Good. My cat likes to knock the box around. I'm thinking it's my cat. Every now and then I just find a little, like a little blemish or something on the box, and I'm just like, where are these blemishes coming from? Alright, relationship first, single second. Oracle cards come out where necessary. Gemini. One, two, three, four, five. Stop. Nope, stop. Okay. Oddly enough, I feel like I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So keep in mind, I guess, before we get too far, this is kind of where you're heading. The Seven of Swords, like just kind of like ditching out of the situation, just letting it be. I don't know if you really want to do that. But I feel like that's the first thing they're hitting on. Like you're heading towards, the way you're going, you're headed towards just kind of ditching out, just kind of letting it be, just kind of like sneaking up the back door and just letting it just kind of lie and just kind of moving on. Like, no, no, no. This seems to be where you're heading, and I feel like they're trying to help you not do this, because I feel like the outcome, if you do that, is not what you really want. It's almost like you're giving somebody else your power, your control, your say. So they're saying, be aware of this. As we go forward, you don't want to do this because you're giving somebody else the ability to choose for you, which is not what you really want. Okay. Oddly enough, Gemini is a sign I tend to understand a little more than I realized as I get older. And I'm feeling kind of like this is just one of those things where you're trying to balance a situation out. I get the Hierophant. You're trying to hold. That's more, this is current. The Hierophant is current. The Seven of Swords is where you're headed. With your partner, you're trying to just balance things out. You're trying to hold things together. You're trying to do what's expected. There's a little bit of dogma, usually, in my opinion, with the Hierophant. Doing what you feel is necessary. Not doing everything you want to do, just doing what you feel like you have to do. And I feel like you're getting kind of worn down with this. Kind of worn, like if you go from the Hierophant over there to the Seven of Swords, you're getting worn down is what I get. It's just kind of like it's becoming rote routine. Oh, and this, okay, this makes sense to me now. Your challenge card is Judgment with the imagination. Almost like it's got a life of its own right now. Like the situation, the relationship with your partner has a life of its own. You don't even really have to maintain it. It'll just keep going on its own the way it has been. This is your challenge card, Judgment. Believing judgment is in your favor just by letting it go on its own, by letting imagination take over, by letting the situation run itself. They're saying, no, you're going to lose your voice. You're going to lose your voice in that. Like, you might physically be talking, but still, like, the decisions are being taken out of your hands this way. You don't want to do that. Now, I'm kind of pulling into all this at once here, so the challenge card for your partner is the Six of Pentacles. Now, being a challenge card, they don't really want to go your way. They don't really want to balance this out. They want to do what they want to do. I just feel like they have a certain idea about where they want the situation to go. Whatever you're dealing with, they know where they want this to go. They don't really want... When I say they don't want to, they will. But if they don't have to, they won't. I don't know if that's making sense. Like if somebody hands them $1, if you keep up if you remind them like, hey, 50 cents of that's mine, they will. Because they're like, yeah, you're right. Here's your 50 cents. But if you don't ask them for that 50 cents, they're just kind of like, well, it's just 50 cents. Maybe I'll just keep it. They're like, I can get more with $1. You know, well, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's just $1. I'll just keep it. It's not like it's minimal to them. Like, they're not trying to sneak you out of something or sneak something away from you. But it's kind of like they don't really want to do the whole let's compromise situation. They don't want to. I feel like they just naturally just don't want to. But if you hold them to it, they will. So if you let this go, if you just kind of sneak back and just kind of like, let it be, they're going to keep the whole $1. I know that's a weird analogy and it makes it look like it's all about money, but I mean, it is pentacles. I get that. And I'm getting here on your side, I'm getting the 5 of Wands with the beauty in your spiritual spot. I feel like you're very conflicted about this. Kind of like, if this is hitting, it's kind of like, why do I have to keep fighting for my part? Don't they just want to give me my part? Why do I have to remind them? Why do I have to come forward and ask for it? Why can't they just give it to me? And I feel like you're very, I feel like that's a point of contention. Like, I shouldn't have to ask for it. You should just give it to me. Like, why do I have to ask for it? Why can't we just have this? Like, you know that I'm going to want to put in my 2 cents. You know I'm going to want my part of this, part of the split, whatever. You know I'm going to want it. Why don't you just give it to me? And I feel like you're unhappy about that. But the other side's feeling like, you know what? I can keep the whole $1 and I'll get something for the both of us, but I'll decide what that is. And I feel like that's the splitting hairs of this situation. All right, so like $1, they get $1. I know it's a very hokey way to put this, but like, 50 cents of that is yours. But they're like, you know what? If they're not asking for it, I'll just keep the whole $1, and I'll do what's best for both of us. I'll just make that decision. I'll utilize that $1 for us. For us, like I don't feel them like greedy, like mine. But I feel like I'll make the decision. I'll keep the money, and I'll decide what's best for us. That's the thing. I don't feel they're coming from a place of greed. I feel like they're just kind of like, I can make a better decision on my own. If they don't want to be a part of it, I can use this and go forward the way I think is best for us. If they're not coming forward, like they must be okay with that. I hope that makes sense. That feels better to me because I'm like, I don't feel like a negative energy there and like trying to take over, trying to greedy. I feel like they're just kind of like, well, if they're not asking for their 50 cents, I'll keep it and I'll move it, I'll pull it together with mine and I'll do something for us together. I'll make the decision for us. I don't feel like you really want that. But I also feel on your side, like, why aren't they just giving me my share? Why do I have to ask for it? That's why, because they feel like if they just pool it and keep it to themselves, they'll make decisions for the both of you. If you don't ask for it, they're like, well, you're just letting me make the decisions, so I'll just keep all the money and I'll get a pizza. You might want to go to dinner. Like, your half of this would be that you want to go to dinner, but I'm okay with the pizza. You're not saying anything, so I'm just going to order a pizza. Meanwhile, you get the pizza and you're like, I hate this pizza place. It sucks. I don't like this pizza. I know I'm making trivial out of that, but I feel like it might be. I don't feel like big money. I don't feel like big money here. I don't feel big money. To me, big money is like 10,000, 20,000. Granted, to some people, big money is $100, and that's cool. That's your perception for it. But like, I'm not getting that big money feel here. So it could be a couple $100, depending on how you're looking at it. Okay, I do feel a money connection here, though. I do, and I'm trying to make sense of that. But let's just keep going. Now, see, the thing is with this, because it could, like, whatever the situation is, and you have to keep fighting for it. You have to keep the dogma going. 7 of Pentacles makes me feel like you do have ideas where you want this to go. So if we're going to use that 50 cents idea, every 50 cents helps, and you want your 50 cents to be putting in this pot, but you're expecting your partner just to hand it over. They're not going to give it to you unless you tell them. Even if you're saving it for a rainy day, they're like, well, I can use it for this for us. It's fine. It's not. I don't feel like that's what you want. You don't want to sneak away because they just feel like you're getting shortchanged. Your partner has ideas about what they want to do. They got the Ace of Pentacles. And that's okay. But for example, like if you're splitting $1, them using their half of that dollar to go towards what they want it to, even if it is for the both of you, that's okay doing it that way. And I feel like this is why you keep having to ask for the money, because they want to take your share and apply it to what they want to go towards. Even though it's for both of you, like, you have the right to decide what you want yours to go towards and work towards what you want. But if you don't claim your side, they're like, well, then I'll just add it to this because it's for the both of us anyway. I just don't feel like that's really what you want. But I do see that they have the Ace of Pentacles. They're working towards something. It does feel like they're working for, I keep reiterating though, it's for the both of you, but they are definitely working towards something. So keep that in mind. The Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands going forward for your partner. I feel like they want this to go faster. They want their plans to come forward faster. They're feeling like their plans are behind maybe because the funding or whatever they need for this is not there because they need more. And that's another reason why they're not going to come forward and be like, well, here's your 50 cents, because they feel like their situation is running behind schedule and they want more money going into that. They want to make things go faster. I'm getting the Six of Cups. Like, this is something that they're really... I know this is like it usually is a history card, and I give you that, but I also get... This is kind of like looking forward. To me, I feel like they're dreaming and thinking about, like, I've done this before. This has worked out before. This is what I wanted to come from it. They're trying to create... Like, they're trying to either... I feel like a lot of them are trying to recreate a success from the past, but it feels like it takes funding for the most of you. And I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find ways to create it. And if one of those ways is to rob Peter to pay Paul, they'll do that. Is that right? Yeah, I do feel like that's right. They really have a lot of thoughts. They're very invested in where they're going. Maybe to the point of short-sightedness. They got the Fool card spiritually. Really got a lot of enthusiasm. They know where they want to go. They want this to go their way. They don't really want to share. They just want to pool it for what they want to go forward with. They're very excited, though. The Fool card makes me feel like they're very short-sighted in seeing how maybe you don't want this as much. Or you're okay with it coming upon the situation when it happens, but you're not looking to shortchange what you want to make that happen faster. When I get the Fool card for your partner, they're just not connecting with what this means to you and what you want. They're just kind of really excited. It's like a kid at Christmas that just sees that stocking full of candy, if I can go that analogy, and they're just like, I want my stocking, and they're just running through all the presents and bumping through people just to get what they want because they have that zoned in, I want the candy, that feel. I think that's the best way I can put it. They're just very short-sighted. They're just very goal-driven towards where they want to go. Blinders, almost like blinders. Like, they're not paying attention to what's going on around them. They're just like, I'll get to the candy faster if I just pull the money. I just got to pull the money. What makes this situation better? Staying engaged. Stay engaged in the conversation. Remind your partner that you want your half. I feel if you haven't talked about where things are going, I feel like you probably have, but reminding them where you are, where you stand, keep collecting your half of the situation, keeping on it. Don't back down, because you're going to lose ground. And I just feel like they're short-sighted, and this is not going to go the direction you want it to go if you don't keep involved, if you don't keep talking. What helps your partner? And I saw this in the very beginning, and I know this is a great thing. They do love you. They need to remember, they may have goals, they may have things they want, but the biggest thing they want is your love. And they need to remember, their goal is one thing, but the love they have with you is more important. They need to have the organization, and they need to do this healthily. Healthily? They need to be healthy about the situation. What would help them is just to, make sure they keep dividing this fairly. Make sure they're still giving. Make sure they're giving into you just as much as you're giving into them. The balance is good here. Stay organized. Get a plan in effect. Keep the plan going. When that dollar comes their way, just automatically giving you your 50 cents and not just assuming that they can pull it to themselves and pull it the way they want to. It would be a lot. That would help them. That would be a healthier way to do this. If they would just get into a rote routine where they would just fall in line and remember, they need to be reminded, I feel, and this might be part of your Knight of Swords, you need to remind them how much they really do love you and how much, they need to keep a better eye on the relationship and just calm down with their goal a little bit. I know that might sound harsh for the non-Gemini person watching if you're the other person, because they feel it's very goal-driven if this is hitting. The partner of the Gemini is very goal-driven, and they feel like they can make a very short-sighted move. It could cause a little disruption. All they need to do is remember how much the relationship matters and how much more important the relationship is than that goal. The goal pales in comparison. The relationship and keeping a healthy relationship, and I feel like that's why this is also here. Keeping a healthy relationship, keeping that love alive means a lot more to your partner than their goal, the Gemini partner. So they just need to center on that, be reminded of that, and I feel like this balance is a lot better. But for the Geminis who are watching, or the people that are watching that the Gemini side is connecting for, stay engaged and don't go to the side. Don't let it just take a life of its own, because you're going to get shortchanged and you're going to be upset about it. And it's going to cause a ripple in the relationship for a short time that'll have to be ironed out. Might as well avoid it if you can. That's what I say. That's what I say. Okay, are we done? All right, we got that part. My eye is twitching, I'm noticing. That's interesting. I feel like it's mostly just frustration with the situation. I don't feel like there's a major hit to the relationship. I feel like it's frustration. Like, why can't you just give me my stuff? You know that that's owed to me. You know that's my share. Why are you doing that? And then you realize they have their goals. They're excited about this, they're about that. The goal is not more important to them. Is not. It pales in comparison to how important the relationship is. I feel like you might just have to remind them of that, and it'll make a much better balance here going forward. All right, what do we have for Gemini singles? Single Geminis. What do we have for single Geminis? Messages for single Geminis. What do we have for single Geminis? Empowering information that shows them the truth so that they can maneuver around it in a way that makes them happy or gets them where they want to be in the situation. Well, we got one more card. No, stop. Okay. I wanted to pull the bottom one, but they're like, nope, leave it alone. Let's do these. Did it? Yeah, I did. All right, empowering information, reinforcement to give more clarity and empowerment. Stop. Nope, stop. I still want to like kind of pull this out. Alright, that might be an unexpected thing. We'll find out. We got three face down here. We'll find out what that's about later. Now, somebody moved on and you don't realize it. Somebody moved on and you don't realize it. I'm wondering if you're, well, are you single and don't realize it? How would that happen? I'm getting somebody moved on. Six of Swords, somebody moved on. This seems to be the path. Like this already happened. And the Devil card here in the environment. People have reminded me, and yes, I will acknowledge this could be Capricorn, yeah, but I'm not feeling that's what we got here. Somebody moved on. Which makes me question, are you coming to this after the fact, realizing you've been single for a little while because the other person moved on and you just didn't realize it? Some of you, I feel like that might just hit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be a comment or two if that's the case. But either way, I feel like there's a falsehood here. With the Devil card and the Six of Swords in the past, somebody, at the very least, moved on from this situation or moved on from the possibility of being with you and you don't realize it. Some of you, I feel, in the single category here, are dating somebody. You're not seeing them very much right now, but you're thinking this is going to amount to somebody somewhere, you amount to something, end up locking in as a relationship, but I'm getting this person moved on. Somebody moved on. Everything is based on here. I'm also getting one other version here that somebody comes forward quickly. You might have a quick moment of passion with them. It's very quick. They're in and they're out. But they're definitely only about what they want. They don't care what you want. They have no interest in what you want or how things affect you. In and out, got what they want, moving on, done. Like, they might even be closing off communication, ignoring you, blocking you, the whole 9 yards, because they got what they wanted. They don't really care about anything else. Because what I'm getting, it happens from this moment. However that's starting off with all those different versions I gave you, you're shocked either way, and you're very upset about it. Because I feel like you're looking at this like it may feel, in the very beginning, it may feel like devastation. Clearly that's not the Ten of Swords. But when I'm seeing the Five of Cups here, I'm getting that Gemini resilience. Because it's kind of like looking at like, you got 3 face down, you got 3 cups tipped over, and you got 2 cups face up. And you're kind of like, once you realize what's happened, and this person just kind of got what they wanted from you, and just, they're gone. You are upset at first. And I feel like I feel like you're devastated for a very short moment. Short moment, though, because I feel like you switch gears, and you're just kind of like, you know what, that stinks. That stinks that happened. But, you know what, the gift is, not going to waste any more time on this one. Can't anyway. But at least you know where you stand. And you know, there's like, don't have to worry about this dragging out too long. It's kind of like you're like, I'm really unhappy with this. I don't like how it feels. This is not right. This stinks. But on the upside, not going to waste much time in here, am I? Because it's done. And they shut that door. They slammed it. So it's like you're balancing it. Like, this sucks, but this is, at least I got that out of it. At least I got something out of it. Moving on. Not gonna go down that train wreck road. Train wreck road? Sure. Not gonna go down that train wreck track. Whatever you want to call it. The thing is, I don't want to make too light of it, because I do feel like this person did kind of get your hopes up, or you did like them, or you did find something about them that you really wanted to happen here. The Nine of Wands here at the bottom, I feel like you're kind of looking at what you thought was here and what's really here. To you, there was definitely something that could have been, like, more could have come of this. When you're looking at it, you're like, you know what? If that person didn't do what they did, this would have just been the first phase. There would have been a lot more to go through. But I feel like this person, I feel like this is done, by the way. You're just kind of looking at this like, there could have been so much more. And you're looking for something, you're in a spot of the Knight of Pentacles. You want to invest in someone. At this point, you're like, I am relationship oriented. I want somebody that's going to be there, somebody I could talk to, somebody I can do things with, that I can build a life with. I definitely feel like you're relationship oriented. And the Nine of Wands especially is making me feel like, you know what? I thought this was going to come to something. I thought this was going to bear fruit. But this was just my first attempt for right now. I don't know if I really want to say it that way. Seeing it for what it is and realizing this is not the fruit that I want. Like, you're looking at this and you're like, you want pumpkins, and this is clearly going to be, you know, something else. It's going to be grapes. And you're like, oh, I don't want grapes. I want pumpkins. I have plans for pumpkins. So, since they don't match, not that I have a choice at this point. Because you're really thinking it over. That's not shocking for a Gemini at all. Four of Swords, you're thinking it over, but you're putting your sword down. You're putting that fourth sword down. You're like, this is not worth the fight. This is not worth getting upset about any more than I already am. You're just kind of like, I'm going to do my best to move on from it. It hurts still. It does hurt. The hurt has to kind of weed its way out, because I feel like you are hurt about it. But you're like, you know what? I'm just going to try to accept it and do my best just to smooth on and move on. Smooth it over and move on. This person shut the door. They slammed it, so it's done. You do want, I feel like, again, you're looking at this like for the gift of it, in the sense of like, I want something to lock in. This is clearly not locking in, but I didn't waste any more time than I had to, clearly. I don't have a choice, but still, you're trying to see the bright side. Can we move on from this part? All right, The next thing coming in. The world with imagination. However this person came towards you or connected with you, you're kind of like, I need to do something different. However this person came into your life or was in your life or whatever they got there, I need something fresh. I need something new. You got the imagination with the world. You're going into a new phase and you got a lot of ideas about how to do that. However this person came in, whether they were somebody you knew for a while, you met them through work, you met them through some type of class, whatever it was, you're like, well, I'm not going to, like, that's not working for me. Let me find a different way to meet somebody. Maybe it's maybe it's something else you haven't tried yet, or maybe it's something, I don't know. I feel like you have a lot of ideas. You're taking this a different route. I get that. I don't really get like a different, like, I feel like some of you are going to like a religious meeting. It could be a church thing. Some of you actually, whatever way you've met this person, you're just like, that's not the way to do it. You're doing it a different way. Let's just leave it at that. I don't think we have to beat that to death. Now you got all of this stuff face down. I'm getting the new way you're choosing to meet people or to bring somebody into your life. I feel that your first attempt is rough. Judgment is in your favor, saying you do have the right idea of where you're going. You're doing a whole different thing. So like if you're meeting somebody through a religious meeting or through shared events, whatever you're doing. Because I feel like some of you actually are going out and meeting people in a bar because you're like, well, I haven't tried that before. Let's give it a shot. I mean, it's not going to be any worse than what I've already got. I feel like somebody's doing that, definitely. Like, why not? You got to do what's right for you. Judgment is in your favor. Whatever you're choosing, I feel like it will work. But I feel like at first you're kind of like, you got the Five of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles. It's taking a while. It seems like you're not really getting your footing. And you're feeling left out in the cold. You're feeling like it's not working. It's really hard to get a gauge on this situation. You're trying, you got a lot to learn, it feels like. Like, I don't know how this works. I don't know how to maneuver these waters. But I don't feel you giving up either. I don't feel you giving up. I feel you actually kind of like, all right, this isn't working. I got to look at some other angles here. I got to find some other ways to do this. Your first attempt seems like it's hard. But the judgment is still in your favor, and you seem to know it is. You're like, this might take me a while to actually get this together. I don't know if I can do this without putting in some serious effort here. And you're feeling on the outside, because you're like, it's not clicking in like I thought it would. But it will. I feel you got a very hopeful idea here. So whatever the new way is for you to meet people, you seem to, like, I feel like you might need some encouragement. I do feel like that's going well. The last spot here is, you feel like it's not going well. You feel like you're not getting your footing. You feel like it's going to take a long time, but judgment's still in your favor. It doesn't take as long as you think. I feel like soon enough, you seem to make a friend or you seem to make a connection that you're not expecting because you're thinking, this is going to take forever. I can't seem to get my footing here. Bam. Somebody clicks right in. The Ace of Swords, especially for a Gemini, that's a really good thing. And the organization. I feel like when I'm saying organization, I feel like this is connected. Like, if you're not a part of like a religious organization or it's a work organization, I feel like you're a part of a group. I feel like that's how this is really clicking in. Because I'm getting like you're talking shop or you're talking something where you and this person have a common line of interest. And that seems to be what works for you. You have a common line of interest. And that's where this starts to take off. The person, like this one, the first one here that you're walking away from, the Devil card here, that's a little devastating, but you know, you move on. That doesn't seem to last very long. This also seems to get you to change perception or change the way you handle the situation. That change is bringing you to this other person. And this other person, especially with the Gemini, I love an air card with Gemini. Geminis are, you know, they're notorious for seeing 50,000 ways in one situation. You having that ability to talk and see many different angles is going to bring you what you want. And that person's going to come towards you. You're going to talk common lines. whatever your common interests are, and that's where this is gonna. And it's gonna start from there. It's gonna bloom from there. Are we good? I think we did it. All right. I'm going to wrap that up there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.